Hey BBs, it's Plastic, and today I really wanted to wish y'all a happy Valentine's Day, whether you're spending it or alone or with somebody. I hope you guys all have a great day. And today's video, I really wanted to rank some of my favorite Monster High couples. Most of these are going to be like, I guess, real couples, but I do have some headcanons at the end, which I love my headcanons, so stick around for that because they're really exciting. But I do not have every doll that I'm ranking, and I'm not ranking all the couples because I feel like there's a lot of couples and I don't really like care about all of them. So I'm going to be ranking the couples that kind of stand out in my brain when I'm thinking about Monster High couples. So that's the T, and I only have 8 of them, I think, plus like 5 headcanons. So let's get into that. And starting off at number 8, we have Frankie X Holt. This was like a really early ship, the whole Frankie and the Jackson Jekyll thing, whatever, and the Holt hide, that kind of thing. I don't have Holt, so there's like a picture of him on the screen somewhere. And I do not like this couple at all. It was very chaotic. It was very much, Frankie was just kind of left confused. There was like the whole like switching thing that kind of got in everyone's way. And even besides that switching thing, I just think Holt himself was really annoying and not like a great boyfriend at all. And Frankie did not deserve that. I'm not sure if they were actually like dating or whatever that tea was, but they did not last together. They shouldn't have lasted for anything longer than they did. And I'm happy that they're not together in the canon, I guess, anymore. They were very chaotic and very traumatic to watch. At my number 7 spot, we do have Gil and Laguna, and I know it's very common right now to hate on them and all that fun stuff, but I just do not like this couple for the reasons that Gil did not try for Laguna like Laguna tried for Gil. Laguna would change her whole entire life for this man. She tried to change into a freshwater girl for a minute. She was just doing everything to please him, and he just didn't really, I feel like, put that same energy back. I know he left her in Skull Shores, but he eventually, came back. But I feel like that whole plot line was kind of like whatever. So for that reason, I really don't love Gil and Laguna. I think this whole dating thing was stupid, and it kind of really did destroy my girl Laguna. Like, I feel like she was not at her best spot with him, and I feel like she could have been better with somebody else or even by herself. And I feel like a lot of her plot line within Generation 1 was overshadowed by the whole Gil and Laguna situation, and her character really got dumbed down to just being about this boy and not really about herself. And we also really didn't get to know Gil that much either because of this relationship. He was just kind of like her boyfriend, and he was like the whiny little like boy with bad parents. But I do like the idea of this like complex relationship with 2 different sides, and they can't be together but they want to be together. But I just think like how it was done wasn't my favorite. I really wish we got more Laguna content, and I wish we got to know Gil better. And I feel like if Gil tried a little bit more, this would be a really good couple and would be high up on my ranking list. 6th spot is a little bit weird as I don't have Porter's doll. This is Spectra X Porter from the Haunted movie. I like this ship. I think it's cute. I think it's a good enemies to lovers kind of thing. I think it's fun that's like Spectra's like, the writer in the relationship, and Porter's like the free spirit. He's very crazy. He has a lot going on. He's a painter. He's like rebellious, and Spectra's not really that. Like, she definitely has her own drama, and she definitely has her own stuff going on, but I think Porter kind of like gave her more like excitement in her life. I feel like, especially in the Haunted movie where she was kind of like stuck in her pit, and I feel like he kind of got her out of that. He made his whole desk for her. Like, he took all of the chains from her to him. Like, I feel like that relationship was done so nicely, and I really want to get a Porter doll in the future. I feel like Monster High prices right now, especially around the Haunted line, are kind of crazy. So hopefully in the year 2023 I can get Porter so they could be together. But I do actually genuinely love the relationship that Spectra and Porter have. But I really do love this ship. I know it's not the most popular or anything, but I'd love to see if Mattel or the Monster High designers would be able to like make like a holiday 2-pack love thing with her and Porter, so they can get more of that stuff going. I'd love to see Porter return in Generation 3 along with Spectra, so they can, I know Spectra's back, but like I'd love to see them be a thing maybe, and I'd love to see them more develop into a real couple. I think they definitely had a lot of potential, but since it was kind of at the end of Monster High, we didn't see much from them because Porter was a new character. He was only really in Haunted. But I hope that maybe one day we can see a better, more in-depth relationship between these two, because I think they have a lot of potential. Ghoulie and Slow-Mo is definitely a couple that I appreciate, not for the reason that they're like, the most popular couple in Monster High, and they didn't always have, the most packs. They did have that really gorgeous Love is Dead pack, but I think that's kind of why I love this couple, because they were never, the main couple. I feel like they definitely had their moments in secret, and even the moments that they did have on screen were really cute. I love that episode, the webisode of Cleo and Ghoulia, when they like their voices switched or their personality switched in their own bodies. They had like a Freaky Friday, and they were gonna go on that like double date with them and the Cleo and Deuce, and I think that was a really funny episode. I think it's really cool that we kind of got more personality with Giulia, I think, with this relationship, as we didn't really know much about her, I feel like, but getting to know that she has, like, a love interest is really sweet, and I feel like she just fits the, girlfriend role so cutely. I feel like she definitely had her moment when she, like, created him in the video game and tried to fight for him, and then she eventually did pick him, which I think is sweet, and again, the dolls, they eat, but that's kind of it. They're nothing too special or anything. Rochelle is standing here for both her and Garrett, as I do not have Garrett yet. Hopefully I get that 2-pack in the future because it's amazing. I love them. But this couple was kind of not like the biggest or anything. It kind of doesn't stand out in the Monster High couples realm of everything, but I think they are really sweet in their own way. Rochelle kind of had this long lost lover that was from Paris, which is already so sweet, but he wrote to her and he spent a lot of time and effort, with her, even though they're long distance. I think that's really sweet, and Rochelle did reciprocate that by spending her whole vacation looking for this man, and that's not true love. I don't know what it is. I think that's, again, a really cute trope, and I really do hope to see them maybe one day in the future come back. I think they're really sweet, and they definitely deserved more spotlight. Next up is Frankie and Jackson. This couple was kind of, for, nostalgia terms, as Frankie and Jackson have always been a thing kind of since the beginning. They've kind of been on and off, but I think it's really sweet how they've always had those, like, 2-packs. Like, he even, like, rooted for her and, like, saved Frankie and Freaky Fusion in 2014. And despite them kind of being an on and off couple, I think they definitely are sweet in their own way. They're both kind of, like, nerdy and new and, whatever. But they're really sweet together, and I feel like they're cute. Again, I love both their doll 2-packs. Whenever they had 2-packs, they always would serve. And Jackson was kind of awkward, he was kind of inconsistent. I feel like he did leave Frankie hurt a little bit, especially in some of the episodes when, she was very confused about a lot of things. But in the end, I think they're really fine. They're sweet. They're nothing too crazy, but they definitely are a cute couple that I feel like maybe if we got a little bit more screen time with Frankie and them, I feel like this would be a really good kind of, it would definitely grow, I think. But the thing that I think I like the most about this is that Frankie always kind of went back to him, which I think was really sweet, and that's kind of it. There's nothing too much about this couple, as they kind of were, again, on and off, but again, they definitely had their moments. Already in top 3, this is an iconic couple, Abby and Heath. I love opposites attract, which is kind of my theming for the next couple, I guess, my next top 3. I love this pack. I love these dolls. I think Heath was really cool. I think he definitely has a little soft spot for Abby, which is totally my favorite thing ever. He was always kind of, like, misogynistic. He was kind of inconsistent. He was always, chasing after the new girl. He chased after Draculaura. He chased after all the background characters. He was kind of his own thing. He's very, free, I guess, with that. But I think it's really cool that, again, he had that soft spot for Abby where he let her protect him, and, he kind of gave up a lot of things for her. Even in this cooking 2-pack where I feel like Abby definitely took over the cooking class, I feel like Heath would, or, his character would be angry about that, but I feel like because it's Abby, he would like that. And I also, again, love the idea of hot and cold. I also really do love Abby in this relationship, as she's very headstrong. I think she could definitely, set Heath in his spot, and I think she can definitely have him grow from a lot of his mistakes that he's already made. And I feel like that would be beneficial for both characters, because Abby could be more, free, maybe have a bigger sense of humor. I think she's honestly the funniest character in Monster High, and I love Abby so beyond much. But I think it would just be really cool to see these guys, again, more fleshed out. We saw a lot from them, and I'd love to see, again, another collector pack with these two. I feel like, again, these couples are so fierce, and I love them. In our top 2 spot, we have Cleo and Deuce. This is kind of like the it couple of Monster High. Like, this was always the OG. They came out together. But with them coming out together, we kind of got less information about Deuce. I feel like he was kind of the accessory to Cleo, which is probably why they're not, like, the number 1 spot. But I love this couple so much. I love the kind of opposites attract of, like, the royalty with, like, the non-royalty, and, like, how that dynamic played out in the shows and the movies, because the way that Nephra also kind of, instigated everything was really interesting to watch. Boo York is also one of my favorite movies in the Monster High, universe ever. I love how, again, like, the kind of poor and rich, I know he's not, like, poor, but you know what I mean, like, the whole, like, royalty versus non-royalty thing. I love how that played out as well, and I liked how it was very dramatic, and it was very, a kid's movie, but I think they did it in a really nice way, that we kind of got to see that, like, love doesn't have to be one set thing, and it can always be, like, it doesn't matter where you come from, as long as you guys can, like, work and be together, and as long as you guys uplift each other. And Deuce was really trying for Cleo in that movie. Like, he was trying everything he could to appease the family and everything, and I think he definitely, I definitely am happy that they got back together. Obviously, like, they're not going to be split for a long time. And I just think they're really cute together. I hope we do get a better holiday 2-pack of them, or like a new collector's Generation 1 pack for them, because I feel like the new one was kind of a letdown personally. As much as I love this couple, I feel like they're really cool, and they always have really good dolls most of the time when they were together, so it was really fun. And I do hope they kind of return again for Generation 3. We're getting hints here and there, but I'd love to see these guys again, especially with that OG dynamic. I think a new generation would really, benefit from seeing characters like this be together, and I feel like maybe we can get more, personality with Deuce and Cleo as well. I think these dolls are, again, both amazing as couples, and I do love them very much. And now for the it couple of Monster High. Top spot has to go to no one else but Draculaura and Claude. This couple, it has such a sweet spot in my heart. I feel like I loved the the introduction of Claude and how they slowly kind of got together in the webisodes. I love the Sweet 1600 Why Do Ghouls Fall in Love movie with the whole kind of plot line of him not having enough money to like impress her or whatever, but then he eventually kind of went back and was like, these memories matter more than possessions and stuff. And I like that Draculaura actually like not fell for that, but like she like realized that, and she didn't realize like she didn't need this like brand new necklace or dress or whatever, that all that matters is her love to Claude. And I feel like Claude was really underappreciated in that movie, because all the little gifts he got her, like the book and like the staircase to her locker, were super cute and super like thoughtful and sweet and practical. And I feel like I wish that she appreciated those a little bit more, but I get that was like, for the plot or whatever. But I just really like this couple a lot. I feel like they definitely had their moments. I think every 2-pack that they've had has also been so amazing. All the details, the storytelling has totally been there. I've also loved their moment in Fight On, where these were like, the interracial couple where they weren't allowed to be together and everyone like looked down on them, but they still they never switched up on each other too much. I don't think they kind of always defended each other, or they did have that fight in the like end of it, but that wasn't really their fault. But besides that, they still in the end of that movie kind of came together and realized that they're better than what other people think about them, and they're better than whatever. And I just think they're really sweet and they're really cute. And I just loved, again, how short Draculaura was in that show, and then how tall Claude was. In the dolls, it doesn't really like seem that way, but hopefully in Generation 3 when they get together, because they will be together in Generation 3, I'm gonna make sure of it. Hopefully his Claude's doll is taller than Draculaura is, so we can kind of get that actual height difference in doll form, because again, that was my favorite thing about that couple. I think they're so cute. These are, again, the it couple of Monster High. You cannot go wrong with them. It's now time for headcanons, y'all. So if you don't like any of these headcanons, don't mention them in the comments below, because I do not care. This is my personal brain and everything. And if you guys have any headcanons, I'd love to know them in the comments below. With that, I'm going to go into like my top 4 Monster High headcanons, because I have a lot of them, but I don't want this video to be like extremely long. So I'm just going to show you guys a couple. So my top 4th spot, we have Elizabeth and Viperine Gorgon. I love this couple. I guess not, it's not a couple, but like my headcanon. I love them because, like, reading out the diaries, I just like the idea of, Elizabeth being this big movie star and Viperine kind of being the makeup artist that kind of always calms her down. Viperine was always there for Elizabeth in the diaries when there was an issue or anything, and I just think it's really cool, again, kind of like the light and like the dark, and it's like very, polar opposite, but they come together and like whatever. Maybe I want to see a better friendship or relationship between these two someday. I think they're really cool and they have a lot of potential to be a couple. I don't know, I just think that I like that idea. At my number 3rd spot, I have Howleen and Twyla. I like this little relationship. I think they're really cute. I think they're funky little lesbians. I think they're fun. I don't think they're anything too serious. Again, they're like younger and they're serious, but I loved them in 13 Wishes. I think they played really nice parts to each other, and they always had that kind of spot for each other, even though when Howleen did turn on Twyla, she still was kind of like, Twyla's girl or whatever. I don't think she ever put her in that lamp thing, which was really funny. But I don't know, I just like these two. Again, I like that Howleen's like they're trying to be the popular girl, and like Twyla's like the one in the shadows, but I don't know, I feel like they just come together maybe, and I don't know, I think this is like a really popular headcanon as well, and I'd love to see them in Generation 3 as well. Hopefully, maybe something happens. I just think they're really cute. For my number 2 headcanon, I have Laguna. This is Laguna and Toralei. I do not care. This ship is so weird. It's like so like whatever. I just think they're so sweet together. I think they're so cute. Again, it's like an enemies to lover kind of plot line. It kind of played out a little bit in Great Scary Reef, where they're beefing a lot, and then Toralei was really scared. She was like, besties with Laguna for a minute, and they kind of got close in that movie. And I just like the idea of like the nice girl being with like the mean girl, and maybe like Toralei has like a little soft spot for Laguna, and in the end they kind of put their differences aside, and like they become better people with each other. Like Laguna maybe sticks up for herself because of Toralei, and Toralei isn't as mean to people. I would really like to see that. I know that's probably never gonna happen, because even in Generation 3 they had their beef in like the 3rd episode or whatever, and they're like having issues, but maybe if I'm delusional enough, it'll happen, or maybe it'll just be a headcanon forever. But I like these two. Again, cats and water, cats and fish. Like, it's so silly and so dumb, but I think it's so cute and it's so, like, silly. I don't know. My number one headcanon, though, is Claudine and Venus, Claude Venus. This ship is kind of, I think it's popular-ish. Popular enough that I think people would get this. I like this little duo. I think it's really sweet. I think maybe that the ghouls kind of introduced Claudine and Venus to be more than friends, because they've always known each other. I think, you know, they've been, like, seeing each other in the hallways, whatever. Maybe they have classes together. But I think when Rochelle, Laguna, Spectra, I think, brought her to that Caddy Noir concert, maybe they, like, got to know each other a little bit. Maybe they bonded over, like, the music, because they also went to a music festival together. I think maybe as a couple, maybe they got to know each other more throughout that night. And then a lot of the times they kind of, you know, just had their own moments where they're in, like, doll lines together, which is kind of like a thing for me. Like, if they're in the same doll line, like, they're both in, like, that swimming class line. Claudine came in the wave 2, but Venus was in wave 1. So maybe, like, you know, Venus, like, was like, come to swim class, and Claudine was like, no, but then she eventually went for her. It's so stupid. But they also got fused together in Freaky Fusion, which is, like, my number one, like, thing for that. Like, I think they were, like, you know, they got to know each other a lot from that experience. So, I don't know. I think I definitely have a soft spot for these dolls, and I'd love to see them in, you know, Generation 3 come together, because they are definitely both lesbians to me. I know it's a very strong headcanon, but I support the headcanon of Claudine being a lesbian. I think it's so sweet and super cute, and I feel like we definitely need that representation. Also, in Generation 3, though, I wouldn't mind Frankie and Claudine being together, but I have a really, you know, soft spot for these two. I think they're really cute. You know, the punk vegan with, like, the one who always eats meat. So stupid and so silly, but maybe they just had, like, their own little thing, and they just kind of come together, and I just, like, the colors are also green and purple. It works for me. But let me know your guys' favorite ships and headcanons in the comments below. I'm dying to know. I'd love a friendly debate on what you guys think is the best couple in Monster High, and what couple you'd love to see be canon someday. Not in Generation 1 maybe, but Generation 3, who knows? There's a lot to come from Monster High. We don't know all of the things. I did just realize I lost Draculaura's little necklace. It's probably just in my cabinet, but I don't know. I like these dolls. I love all the Monster High couples, and I think they all definitely have a spot in space. They always also have, like, a storytelling purpose, and there's always, like, a lesson to learn from all of them, which I think is really cool and really interesting. But I wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. It was so much fun chatting with you guys, and I hope you guys all have a great night, and I can't wait to catch y'all in the next one. I love you all so very much. Love you. Goodbye. Mwah.